And then he was able to watch the doll go to the foot of the bed and then it disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he still wasn't able to move. And then he felt the bed starting to move. So he still had like that feeling. He could still understand what was going on. And then he felt the doll crawl up and then start choking him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's
with,
like
with
what
alien.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say with alien abductions, a lot of times it comes with sleep paralysis.
Right.
And what they say a lot of the times is like they've returned you, but you're not completely out of the paralysis they put you in. Right, and you hear high pitched noise before or after the abduction. But him laying on that slab sounds just like sleep paralysis, which you could say sleep paralysis explains his experience, or the experience explains his sleep paralysis, one or the other.
Right. It's kind of like in the movies when we talk about, okay, if you, here's a great example, and this is a horrible example / perfect example. Back to the Future.
Yep.
Marty McFly goes back into the future, but he can't meet himself because if he does, it'll erase him.
Right.
Right. Basically, what's happening is current age dimension Marty McFly going back to old Marty McFly causes a rift in that life, which destroys something. What if an alien, or in this case, we're talking about a demonic doll, for it to manifest, it's either bringing you into its dimension or you're going in, it's coming to your dimension. It's one of the two.
Right.
In both occasions, demonic or whether it's a UFO. What if you're always under sleep paralysis? Because when it pulls you into that dimension, your body might be going.
Right.
But your mind is not fully connected.
You know, I can buy that. What I'd say though is if it's sleep paralysis, I'd say you must be being pulled into theirs. And that, if that were the case, it would also explain time loss. For example, where those kids were able to occupy the same space as the adults on the side of that lake.
Yeah.
If one group or the other was pulled into this other dimension, like you're saying. Interesting.
It's an interesting concept. Yeah. Because I always
that's worth keeping in mind.
Yeah, because it's like, why is it that if we have sleep paralysis, it happens so often in all of these stories? UFOs, and when we're talking about demonic beings.
Yeah. Both of those do have that in common.
They both have it in common. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know. But again, we talk about extra dimensions. Like, what if they're on that dimension? But like, we don't know if a ghost is, if we're able to see a ghost or a demon or whatever it is. I think with a ghost, it's different. It's just there's a rift in whatever that is. But like with a demon, what if it's living in this other dimension and it's pulling you into it? So we think we're in our dimension. Right. But we're not. It's pulling, kind of like Vecna in Stranger Things.
Yeah, exactly.
He pulls him into his dimension. Right?
Now, with demonic possessions and stuff, do we ever get time loss in those stories? I don't recall. We can. So, the case that I'm covering this week, which I don't necessarily believe the story, but there was one thing that I found extremely interesting. The woman said that when she was under demonic possession, she felt like she was in a dark room and she could hear things that was going on and she could feel things going on, but she could not control anything that was going on. But also there's a story of like, the devil made me do it. 1 second, he remembers standing in front of the guy. The next minute he's in the woods. So that does happen there too, then. Interesting.
Yeah, but what we don't see is, in the case of the devil made me do it, for those that doesn't know, the landlord became friends with the guy. He stabs him multiple times.
Right.
And then runs into the forest. So for him, he's in the house. And then he's outside. But for everyone else, He just stabbed that guy and now he's running. So it's like, did he go into a different dimension and this entity then came into ours?
Right.
Or what? But the other crazy part of that
or did they swap for that time?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought. I want to keep that in mind for like future episodes when we come across this kind of thing again.
Correct. Yeah. In which I come into it a decent amount on mine because all I've been dealing with here lately is family hauntings.
Right.
So I don't know. It's
interesting. Family hauntings.
Yeah, dog, you just can't listen. You can't get away from anymore.
Yep. It's just something people do as a family.
You know, you gotta share the experiences with everyone.
So if you were a betting man, would you say that the rest of the guys are going to have any experiences, or they're just like, nah?
Oh, for sure. They're definitely going to have experiences. Totally going to have them.
Do you want to listen to see if that's the case or not?
Absolutely.
Charles also agreed. Charles, under hypnosis, was back in the canoe on the shores of the lake almost as if it were happening again. He is in total disbelief of everything that he was seeing.